Go play baseball.
It's gonna break.
I play baseball in high
It's
school. Here
gonna
we go.
break.
I seen it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. I'm walking down through the garden. We're gonna harvest something really cool and unique. Angela's down here. She's gonna cut the thing off the vine. I'm stepping through the garden here, and she's gonna show you how to harvest this thing and also what to do with it, how to cook it. Okay.
Now we're gonna harvest this Tromboncino.
Look at that. How big is that though? That's a couple feet.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's massive.
We're going to use it as a summer squash rather than as a winter squash.
They can be used, summer squash like zucchini or a winter squash. Harvest it like this though, younger.
When it's nice and tender.
Yeah, because this is still green. You can't really see it on this light, but it's still pretty green.
So now we're going to go ahead and cut it because you cannot break these things off. The stem is so thick.
Yep.
And it's heavy.
Yep.
And now we've got another one that's going to bloom in a couple of days.
Just for some clarification, I'm 6'3", okay? This is where it's at. It's huge. So it's big, massive, you know. Go play baseball.
It's gonna break.
I play baseball in high school. Here we go.
Break.
I seen it. I was watching it. So yeah, pretty stinking weird and cool.
Now I've got this thing broke down into some pieces.
It was 29 inches long, okay?
Yes.
So it's good size.
So now for this recipe, which is going to be an Italian, we'll call it an Italian zucchini bake. Because if you don't have Tromboncino, you can just use a couple of small zucchinis. And we're going to take the large side of our box grater.
Look how much moisture coming out of that.
Yes.
Which is why it's on paper towel, by the way.
Look at how it beads up.
I don't know if you can see that or not, maybe.
There's so many beads of moisture.
Right.
And I'm grating this on paper towel so that it will start absorbing the moisture as I grate it.
Right. Good move.
And I'm just going to grate it on to this paper towel on the biggest side of your box grater. You want it grated pretty coarsely.
Now, you're not using this entire squash in what you're cooking today, right?
No. No. Some of this is going to go in the freezer to make zucchini bread because you can do that with Tromboncino as well. Anything you can do with zucchini, you can do with Tromboncino if you use it young.
Right.
Which I don't know if you'd call this young or not. 29 inches, would you call that young?
Well, it didn't turn colors.
So I'm going to keep grading and then I'll show you what we do next.
And as you can see, it's a lot of squash grated up. She's gonna roll it up in this paper towel to try and get some of the moisture out of it. That way, and then she'll probably wring it out too, I would assume. Is that right?
Yeah, if this don't get it all out while I'm preparing the other parts, then I will squeeze it.
Right, because it is good to get as much moisture out of this as possible for bread and for what you're doing today.
Yes.
Right?
Now we've got a pound of ground beef browned up. I'm using 80/20 because you want some fat, but not a lot. And I've drained the fat off, or at least most of it. Now you want to add a 24-ounce jar of your favorite spaghetti sauce. That was just a jar that I had left before we canned our own.
Yep. It was Rayo's, okay, that was Rayo's.
But you can use whatever is your favorite.
Yep.
Or home canned, which any other times that this will be made with home canned.
Yep.
We just ran out of our home canned and that was what we had.
To make it easier, just do what you can to make it easier on yourself when you're leading a busy life.
Yes. Now you just want to stir that and heat it up till it's all nice and hot. And this is going to be one of your layers because this is going to be a layered casserole essentially. So now once this is all heated up, you'll come over to the island with me and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, in this bowl we have about 3 cups or a little more of the grated Tromboncino, or you would use about 3 cups of grated zucchini. And in that we have 3 large eggs and about 2/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Now to that, we are gonna add a couple of good healthy pinches of salt, but as I always tell you, it's salt to taste. And
Don't taste it right now, though.
no, I wouldn't recommend it.
It's not.
And some fresh grated
Just season it.
pepper.
Yep, just season it well.
And now over here, we have lots of grated mozzarella cheese.
About 12 ounces, right?
And I'm gonna take about a cup of that and put it in here.
Or a couple of little handfuls.
Yep. And you want to mix that together really good.
Those are pretty eggs, by the way.
Yes, they were very pretty eggs. Now that mixture is all mixed up. Now we have a 13 by 9 glass baking dish over here, and I have it sprayed with some cooking spray. And we are going to dump our mixture in there. And the eggs and the cheese and everything is going to help it all set up.
Yep.
Into a solid layer.
Hopefully.
It will be.
It will be. I know. I just play with you.
Now you want to spread it out to the ends. You want a nice little layer. And you want to press it down as you go. You want to make sure you press it down. And see, this is the reason you wanted to get as much of the liquid out as you can. Because otherwise it will not be, because where this is almost like a paste, it won't be that way. It will be very soupy. And it won't come together.
Yeah. Those squashes hold a lot more water than you think.
Yes.
When they're grown right. When they're grown right.
Now, you want to be sure and pat that in. I'm going to use my hand.
Good idea.
My hands are clean.
Oh no.
I only blew my nose on it 3 times. Sheesh. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That worked better than the spoon.
There we go.
That worked a lot better than the spoon.
Yes. Now I gotta wash my hand. Now you want to take this, pop it into the oven, into a 400-degree oven, and you want to par bake it for just a few minutes. I'll show you what it looks like when it's set up enough. Now this baked for about 12 minutes until it's set up. See, now it's not completely set up, but it's most of the way set up, just so you can spread the other layers on it without tearing it up. Now in this bowl we have a 16-ounce container of ricotta cheese, and with that I mix some salt and pepper and about 1/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Now you just want to dollop it on, just in little dollops, and just kind of spread it around. Just kind of spread it around, but you don't want to tear up your bottom layer. Just kind of spread it around a little bit because it isn't set up completely, because you want it to set up completely with your other layers. So be very gentle when you spread your ricotta. Now if you don't like ricotta, you can leave this out, but this is going to add...
It changes the recipe though. It changes a lot.
It's
not going to be the same.
It's not going to be near the same. You're not going to have that creamy layer there. I'm sure some people would probably use cottage cheese here instead of ricotta. If that's what you like, then go ahead.
What's the difference?
But to me, I would much rather use...
You need to use ricotta.
Ricotta. But I am a huge ricotta fan, so I love ricotta. Now, you want to spread it around nicely. Make a nice little layer, because like I said, this is layered. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure that it gets on there. Now your next layer is your meat sauce, and you just want to put your meat sauce on there. You just want to scatter it around.
And make sure you're going to have several people eating, or maybe you're going to use this for 2 nights. We're not eating this whole thing right now.
No.
Could somebody freeze this if they wanted to make eat part and freeze the rest?
I would say you probably could.
We've never tried that, so I
I would say you probably could. I don't really know why you couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, this should be similar to a lasagna. It's not a lasagna because it's not layered, different layers of like noodles. But I mean, it should be similar, right?
It's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Now, you want to spread your meat sauce out to the ends. And this is already looking really good.
It's awesome. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, this is not looking bad, is it?
Okay, now we're going to take the rest of our mozzarella cheese and we're going to top it all off with some mozzarella cheese. And if you guys have been watching us for long, we love cheese around here. So too much cheese is not a thing. Now our mozzarella layer is all spread out, and now I'm going to sprinkle with just about 1/4 of a cup more Parmesan. It'll just add a nice crusty, salty layer.
And you put a little oregano on there, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not yet.
You didn't?
I'm getting ready to.
I heard you say I was going to sprinkle a little oregano on there. I thought you already did.
Nope, not yet. Now I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of oregano on top of it. We love oregano.
Yeah, and that sauce is light on oregano. So.
Yes, because it's what I used was tomato basil, so it's heavy on basil.
Right.
So I'm sprinkling just a little bit of oregano in there. And now it's going back into your 400-degree oven until everything's bubbly and set, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. This beautiful dish is out of the oven. It smells wonderful.
It does.
It baked for about 20 minutes, and you want to let it rest because it needs to set up, kind of like you would lasagna. So I've let it set for about 15 minutes or a little more.
Yep.
Now we're ready to cut it and taste it.
Look at that right there. Just driven down. Beautiful. Wow. That's awesome. Beautiful dish. Yeah. A great way to use any kind of squash. Zucchini. I bet you could even use regular squash on that, like yellow squash. Really. What a great dish that is. Good way to use zucchini. A Tromboncino, obviously. I bet you could grate a yellow squash and do that with it. That was awesome. Such a wonderful dish. Angela Kay, you did amazing as always. So thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. That's Angela Kay's Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.